Welcome to the Lokar Car Show. I'm Sam Madavi, coming to you from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee at the 26th Annual Pontiacs in Pigeon Forge. Welcome to the Lokar Car Show. This is gonna be one awesome car.
And I said, it doesn't even run yet. And look at it now, it's amazing.
This is the 22nd Annual Pontiacs and Pigeon Forge Car Show and Swap Meet. People gather here from all over the country with a common passion, Pontiacs. The people are great, the cars are impressive, and best of all the proceeds go to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in memory of Sierra Blackburn. The cars, the swap meet, and the camaraderie brings people back year after year. Rick, coming up to your 51 Streamliner here, I was looking at the instrument cluster and I noticed that's a Chevrolet instrument cluster, and I'm thinking this got to have an S10 chassis up underneath it, right?
Yes, it does.
Now I was looking at the pictures and I saw how rusted out it was, and you used two cars to make one good one.
Yep.
So what made you decide to do the S10 chassis underneath this car?
Because it drives real nice.
It's a popular setup today. The wheelbase is just right. I love where you put the gas cap filler. That is genius. You kept the factory fuel tank in its location and put that there under the seat. That is so cool.
It's more or less stock on the outside. The rear bumper was three-piece. I made it a one-piece bumper. The top on around the doors, it's all original. The rest of it's all stuff that I made.
Well, you did an awesome job. Considering you're a mechanic, your woodworking is pretty good also, you know?
Yeah.
This is so cool. The interior you did yourself as well.
Did everything. Being I'm retired, I got plenty of time to play with stuff.
Absolutely.
We drive it. I have about 10,000 miles on it already.
Really?
In the last 3 years.
Oh, wow. That is so cool. This is such a treat. Now, you said this is the last year of the Streamliner.
Last year, the Streamliner, they called them Chieftains after that. Well, the station wagons, I think they went up to 54, but with this fender here, it was 53 was the last year.
Wow. This is absolutely beautiful. You did an awesome job. I love the paint accent on the side. You made it look so real. You know, up until you told me, I thought it was real, like a Woody or something. This is beautiful. Very good job. All right, Chris, tell me about your Bonneville here.
Well, it's a 1957 Star Chief hardtop. We customized it all the way around every chance that we could get. Don and Bobby Summit, they helped. I had a lot of guys, the guys at my shop worked on it. All the guys that worked on it were friends. Buddy of mine, Jackie, did the interior on it.
That interior is beautiful.
He did a great job.
The console looks so good front to back, all handmade like you said.
Yep.
The seats are out of what?
Camaro.
And the same thing with the engine.
Engine's out of Camaro.
LS3, 435 horse. What transmission do you have behind it?
I put it all on the side. I didn't take the transmission off the
Probably
motor.
Probably a 4L65.
Yeah. A really good friend of mine, Jerry Vineyard, looked at that frame and said, you know, you need some big tires on the back, and I know exactly what to do, so.
Man, you know, I didn't even think about it until you said the big tires on the back. That totally makes sense now.
Yep.
Now, you said there's a length difference on these cars as well. What is that and where?
There's a Chieftain, Super Chief, and a Star Chief. So the Chieftain is the base car. The Super Chief is 4 inches bigger, and this car is 8 inches longer.
And where did you say they actually made the length?
It's all right here. If you look at any GM Tri-5s, it's all right in there, right there. The doors will fit a 55, 56, 57 Chevrolet, but nothing else works.
That is cool. This is a real pleasure to check it out. We'll be right back with more of the Lokar Car Show, brought to you by ARP Bolts. Man, that is awesome. I love it.
It's time for the Lokar Lowdown with Kevin Ford.
In our LS Classic line of products, we've developed everything from valve cover adapters to front drives to installation pieces, the distributor kits that make it look like an old motor. One of the cool products that we have is the air cleaner that will really finish off that look. We've got 409 air cleaners, we've got 57 Fuelie air cleaners. These kind of mimic the factory passenger car air cleaner that you would see on a 57. And then we've got a universal Fuelie kit. This gives you the option to modify your pipes, fit into the car however you need. A lot of the C10 guys are using these. We send them out raw. You can see it's got cool clamps, and the air cleaner filters come with it, the bellow adapters. You can paint it up black, put some stickers on it, make it look like the original one. It's just a really nice way to finish off the look of an LS in your classic ride.
Man, that is so cool looking. All original, but beautified up. Welcome back to the Lokar Car Show. The chrome plate, the intake manifold, so much bling up under there, but still all original. What a story behind this car. Tell me about it.
Well, this is my first car. I got it in the summer of 1974. I bought it from my brother, my oldest brother, for $25. And
You've owned it ever since.
I've had it ever since. I drove it through high school. Then I started transforming it in the late 80s, early 90s. And I'm still putzing with it to this day. 1985 it was painted. I paid $800 for paint and body work back then. You can't even buy a gallon of paint for that now.
No, you cannot. You're absolutely right. The engine bay, all the plating that we saw was done in '92.
The engine compartment, I did all the paint. I did the disc brakes. I do all my own mechanicals.
And then you used to put 3,000 miles a year on this setup,
Yep.
and it still looks this good 30 years later.
Back in the 90s, I used to do 3,000 miles a summer just going to car shows. The interior, the seats and door panels are original to the car yet. The headliner and the carpeting I replaced back in the 90s after I did the engine bay and whatever.
One, it's your original car that you purchased. Two, it was done so many years ago. It shows the talent even back then. And three, you've taken care of it for 30 years plus, this long, and seen it at car shows and other people get to enjoy it. That's what's cool. All right, Roger, from what I can tell, it's pretty much original, right?
It is.
That's very cool. 66?
66.
When did you get it?
I've had about 12 months.
What's on the visor?
It was like that. He signed in 08, and they say he's the godfather of GTOs. So
Really?
Jim Wagner. So
That is
Randy owned it
cool.
when he signed it.
And it's perfect, too,
Yeah,
you know?
it's like he's done this before, huh?
How many miles does this thing have?
84,000.
Really? It's a driver then. They
It's a
drove
driver.
it.
Yeah,
And
we
you know,
drive
when you
it too.
drive it, that's what keeps them alive.
That's right.
When you storm is what kills them, you
Yeah,
know?
it's not good for him.
That is so cool. Now, have you done anything to it in the 12
No.
months that you've owned it?
Not a thing.
And what kind of engine is in it?
It's a 389 six-pack, 3 deuces.
Yep. 66, they had a flat face.
They did.
And then they changed it to a slant nose in what? Do you know what year they changed it to slant nose? 'Cause
I think from 65 to 66.
You got it.
65 had more slant. These are more straight.
Yeah, these are more straight.
And 70's got the same front end, just different rear end.
So what have you done within the last 12 months? Have you enjoyed it? Take it to car
Oh
shows?
yeah, we take many car shows. We drive it everywhere.
Yeah?
We take it local car shows on Monday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
That is cool. The top works, everything works on
Yeah,
this thing,
everything
huh?
works.
You know, it's nice to see it in original because so many people resto mod these or they'll go away from the factory look. And it's nice to see what they started out with from the beginning, you know?
That's right.
We'll be right back with more of the Lokar Car Show brought to you by ARP Bolts. Man, that is awesome. Welcome back to the Lokar Car Show.
biggest thing that I like to tell people is about the moisture in their cement in their garage. So there's no moisture getting up. There's nothing more bothersome to me than to restore a car, to have it beautiful, and then the guy puts it in his garage, and in a year, all that moisture comes up and rusts all the bolts and nuts underneath it. The exhaust system turns to rust.
Well, people put a cover over it, and they're actually trapping.
They trap it.
They're making it worse.
Right.
And I've been to your facility, and I mean, you got grinding, you got sanding, you got upholstery going. It's the real deal. The showcase may be covered in dirt, and we pull a car out, and whether it's a $50 or $1 million car, it comes out in showroom condition every time.
Exactly. I mean, we had the Hirahata Mercury in here the other day, and there's all these cars moving around. Everybody's dusting their car.
Off.
Drove it out, absolutely perfect. No dirt or dust on it at all. The biggest thing is protection to me, and so rodents, there's no mice getting in here.
That's right.
There's no issue about my grandson bumping into the car with his bicycle in the garage. There's so many things. It's not just one positive thing. There's so many positive things.
You get to see it.
So I use it as a garage inside the garage.
Same thing with me.
So what I'll do is I'll turn the fan off, I'll just flip the top up, and I'll use it for 3 or 4 days. When I want to put it away for a couple weeks, I know I'm not going to be home, I just put it back in, turn the fan on, zip it up, and it's protected again.
This is a beautiful 67, Kenny. Now, you said that this car, the family had purchased it so that they can give it to their daughter to take to high school or college?
To high school and college. From what I understood, she kept the car till 1973. Her neighbor had always wanted to buy the car. He ended up buying it from her. She wanted the option to buy it back if it ever was available.
Right.
He actually died, I think, February a year ago. He willed the car back to her.
That's so cool.
And she was in the nursing home, and her son ended up with it, and he put it on the internet for sale, and we found it and bought it from him.
Looked hard to find it. I know, I heard the story, how hard it was to find something like this, you know?
Yeah, the way they had it listed, it was real hard to find. My son found it. When I got it, I had the car painted. We pulled the engine out and detailed the engine and painted it. We didn't have to rebuild it. The engine had evidently just
looked like it had just been rebuilt. And you said underneath the car was very solid. It's got over like 109,000 miles on it.
Right. I'm retired, and we started on December 1st. I took it to a buddy of mine to do the roof, and then when we got the problem, we took it back home, took it apart, took it back to him, and he painted it. So it all started around December 1st, and we finished it about 2 to 3 weeks ago.
Record time when you did it for this show.
Yeah.
Bill, this is a beautiful 68 GTO, and you said it's one of only 2 here, the other one being convertible.
Yeah.
Man, that is so cool. Tell me about this color.
It's Fedora Green, John DeLorean's car.
Yeah?
That came out in a 67 Firebird. His wife brought an ashtray back from Africa.
Really?
And it only came out in the Firebirds, okay? And then 68, 69 was the only year they used it.
Wow.
And there's a picture of him standing in front of a 68.
That is so cool.
Okay?
So when you say John DeLorean, he designed, this was the last one that he designed, right?
Yeah, this was one of his books, okay?
Now you've owned this restored for 25 years completed.
Right,
and you put 10,000 miles on it. And this is all original. It's numbers matching. It has been restored, but it's exactly how you would see it coming out of the factory.
Just like it came out of the factory.
So this is the first year of this body style?
Yes.
I see.
A body. It was the other GTOs were long bodies.
Got it.
This is the A body. And it had the hideaway lights and all that stuff.
Vacuum operated hideaway lights.
Vacuum
It's got the vent windows.
Yeah.
Is that a 1 year deal?
Yeah. See, that's how you tell a 68 from a 69. We
see.
had the vent window.
Got it.
See that 6.5?
Yeah.
That's a 389.
Wow.
6.6 is a 400.
Got it.
They
made a mistake.
67 and 68 is the wrong emblem.
Oh man, that's
why
crazy.
when the 69s came out, they put GTO there.
This is extremely rare. A hardtop Pontiac Solstice, one of 1,200 made. It looks really cool. We'll be right back with more of the Lokar Car Show from ARP Bolts. Welcome back to the Lokar Car Show. All right, Bill, I noticed this car. I saw the Georgia State Patrol. I had to ask if this was real, meaning did they really have this car back in the day? And the gentleman did say yes. Tell me about this car.
This is a period-correct Georgia State Patrol car from 1977, like in the movie Smoking the Bandit.
Yep.
State of Georgia used Pontiac 1 year, and that was 1977. It was the only year they ever used Pontiac for their patrol cars. The movie, I'm a big Smoking the Bandit fan, and it's a car I come up with. We have a group called the Snowman's Run Group, and we do charity for the veterans. We went to the Burt Reynolds Parade down in Jupiter, Florida a few years ago after he had passed. They had Trans Ams, the big rig, the Buford T cars, but no Georgia State Patrol cars.
Oh,
so
man.
it was like, I wanted the Georgia State Patrol car. I built it, we did it and painted it and everything. Had to get permission from the state of Georgia to have the state seal, but we did it. Ronnie Gay, the state trooper that actually was in the movie that jumped on top of the trailer, he helped me get approval from the state of Georgia to run the state seal.
What really catches your eye on this car are those wheels.
Wheel Antiques, 17 by 9 wheels. Just so happened the original poverty caps fit on the wheels. Did a Rytec suspension, coilovers all the way around. Underneath, the car's pretty well new. It's the best riding car I got, really.
It's so cool. Now, in the movie, was it this color scheme, or was it brown?
It's the same color scheme, everything. Actually, Georgia State Patrol, these are the same colors they run to this day. Those are the same stickers they've run since '77 until this day.
Mike, this is an absolute beautiful Le Mans. Now, tell me about the name In Honor. What does that mean?
I was traveling with my wife and essentially said, I want to build my grandmother's car with Mom's engine and transmission in it. Essentially, in trying to come up with a theme for the build, I wanted to do something in honor of, and I just paused. And I went, in honor, wrote that down.
Yeah.
As soon as we landed, checked it, we booked the plate.
Oh man, that is awesome, beautiful. Now you said it's Grandma's car and Mom's engine and transmission.
My grandmother purchased this for $3,450 on August 13th, 1971 from Steammiller Pontiac in Oak Hill, West Virginia.
Okay.
Back in the 80s, rode in my neighbor's Trans Am, saw a Pro Street Vega being built, and I was hooked. In 2015, my wife and I, we went on our first date in this in 87. We built my teenage dream. That's all we did.
And you still have Mom's 455.
Mom's 455, Mom's Turbo 400 transmissions in it. My mother had a 72 Bonneville. And the 455 Turbo 400 came from the Bonneville. I took my driving test in 1980 in that Bonneville.
Oh,
that's where the engine and transmission
You took it,
came
hopped
from.
it up, made it what it is, and put it in there.
100% with the help of Butler Performance and numerous vendors.
In Honor's a great name too. The Pontiacs and Pigeon Forge Car Show and Swap Meet brings together one of the largest groups of Pontiacs in the country. From the early models to the most popular muscle cars to the most rare custom models, it's hard to find a favorite. With the beautiful scenery as your backdrop, this show is a must for Pontiac fans. Find parts at the Swap Meet and complete your next project. We had a great day here at the Pontiacs and Pigeon Forge, brought to you by Automotive Racing Products, where all the proceeds go to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. This is the favorite part of the day where everybody lines up for the mountain run. Come back next week when we show you more Pontiacs from Pigeon Forge. For me, that's a wrap. Well, we are out of time on this week's episode of the Lokar Car Show. Don't miss next week's episode where we come back here and check out the Pontiacs and Pigeon Forge.